I'm so curious to know how many of my subscribers will click on this video because we're chatting about neutral eyeshadow palettes today. So if you guys are nosy, if you want to see me create 6 looks with 6 newer neutral eyeshadow palettes, then just keep watching. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. My name is Karen Harris. I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on YouTube. I do post quite often, so I highly recommend subscribing to my channel, turning on that bell so you're notified every time I post, and without further blabbering, let's get into it. Okay, so I have my last look on right now, and before I show you the looks, I just want to go over all of the palettes, tell you guys a little bit about each and every single one, and look at the swatches, and then we'll roll into the looks, and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts. So the first palette I played with in this video is the Bella Beauté Bar Unoriginal Nudes palette. And this palette is definitely all about the packaging for me. I love the Mean Girl theme, and now I'm going to just show you the inside and tell you a little bit about this palette. So it is a $69 palette. It has 8 shimmers, 12 mattes. It's made in the PRC. The net weight is 320 grams or 11.2 ounces. So the 8 shimmers come in a variety of textures and finishes, high intensity metallics, duochromes, a multi-chrome, and 1 true holographic. You love Skin of a Killer from our Vamp palette so much that we created 4 shades with the same texture in new colorways: a more warm vanilla diamond shade, a pink duochrome shade, a blue, and a brown, 12 highly pigmented buttery neutral mattes. Unoriginal Nude 1 is a bone colored matte. We have Unoriginal Nude 2, which is a more neutral kind of taupey matte shade. Token Shimmer 1 is a silvery white shimmer shade. Unoriginal Nude 3 is a peachy matte. Unoriginal Nude 4 is a more medium tone brown. And then Nude 5 and 6 are also more medium tone browns. Token Shimmer 2 is another shimmery white, almost like pink leaning shade. Nude 7 is a mauve. And then Replicate is a bright silvery shimmer shade. Mimic is a bright gold. And then we have Unoriginal Nude 8 and 9. And these are beautiful warm tone mattes, which I love. Echo is a coppery brown. Nude 10 is a deeper brown. And then Ignorance is Bliss is the holo shade in here. So it shifts like all the colors of the rainbow. Token Shimmer 3 has a green shift to it. Nude 11 is a dark brown warm tone shade. Oblivious, I think, is the last shimmer. That is also another silver shade, more of a taupey silver. And then Nude 12 is a black. So those are all the shades in the palette. And yeah, let's get into the next one. I gotta keep these like a little bit shorter and snappier because sometimes I go on and on and on, and these videos get way too long. So the next palette I tried is the Gourmand Girls Mocha Moment palette. I think this is my favorite palette in this video. So this has 15 shades. We've got 5 shimmers and 10 mattes, and it retails for $56.99. I believe with most of these brands, I do have a code, so I will of course list my codes for you guys if you're interested in saving some money. I don't think that Gourmand Girls really gave us much information about the inspiration for this color story. I actually looked on all of the brand's websites, so if I missed it, I'm sorry, but this color story almost speaks for itself. It's absolutely stunning. So the first shade is Marble Mocha, which is a multi-chrome. I think it shifts like gold to like white. And the next shade is called Cafe Mocha, which is a matte cool tone brown. Mocha Mousse is a light peachy brown shade. And then we got Biscotti with Mocha, which is a gold, very sparkly gold. Mocha Madness is a mid-tone brown. Peppermint Mocha is a mauve shade. It's cool tone in my opinion. And then Churro with Mocha is another shimmery gold. Matcha Mocha is a fun green. It's a muted green, but I really love the color. White Choco Mocha is a lighter brown shade. Java Mocha is fun. It's a duochrome and it shifts from gold to green. It's really pretty. And then the shade Mexican Mocha. I think this one's a multi-chrome. It shifts from like a mauve to a green. It's really cool. And then we have the shade Maui Mocha, which is a nice burgundy shade. And then the shade called Mellow Mocha, which is a mid-tone brown. And the shade Chai with Mocha is a kind of baby poop green. And the last shade is Midnight Mocha, which is a dark brown. So yeah, I think this one has my very favorite color story. And then the next palette we played with in this video is the Lancome palette. So this is the Idole Cafe Crush Nude Eyeshadow Palette, and it retails for $59. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really sure why I picked this one up because it's not like me at all, but I think I was just curious to see something different. Experience a perfect blend of nude shades, a rich coffee-inspired palette to flatter every personality, offering endless possibilities for everyone who wants to create a daytime or a bold look. So according to Lancome, these shades are highly pigmented, creamy feeling, they have an intense payoff, effortless to blend formula, smooth glide finish, up to 12 hours of intense long-lasting color. I don't actually know what of those statements is true. I don't really think any of them are, but I will say something about this palette is it's very solid for a high-end palette that you can pick up at Ulta. I think that if you're into neutral eyeshadow palettes, you'll really love reaching for this, especially if you're a working professional. And even if you're a mom on the go like me, I think just one of these shades all over your lids does perform well. But I will say this is not the most pigmented, rich palette of all the palettes in this video. So for that, I would probably rank this much closer to the Alter Ego palette, which is of course like less than half the price of this one. So something to keep in mind. Okay, so the next two palettes are actually two from Sydney Grace, and they just had their Christmas in July sale. So the first palette I played with was Desert Bloom, and this is $52. And I don't know if this one is sold out. I know the next one is sold out and it's already available for pre-order. But let me tell you a little bit about this palette. So Desert Bloom eyeshadow palette is a richly pigmented 15-pan collection designed to inspire creativity and everyday glam. This palette features a curated mix of warm neutrals, fiery oranges, deep blues, and earthy greens, available in a deep and light for all skin tones. The shadows that differ between the deep and light palettes are Desert Sunburst, Frozen Canyon, Rough Terrain, and Dusty Mesa. I do love that about Sydney Grace. Most of the time they do a light version and a deep version of their palette. So I have the deep version, and I definitely think that Sydney Grace has been around for a long time, so they make very solid palettes. And I think that's why so many people love them so much. So we start off with Velvet Sands, which is a gorgeous inner corner shade. It's very vibrant and it looks like a vanilla. Desert Sunburst is a neutral orangey color, same with Sunset Petals. High Desert is a darker brown. Midnight Dunes is a deep brown. Frozen Canyon is a peachy light shade. Salt Flats is a peachy orangey mid-tone color. Then we have Tumbleweed Trail, which is one of my favorite neutral shades. It's a terracotta, and Desert Bloom is a vibrant orange terracotta shade. Wild Sage is a cool tone brown. Rough Terrain is a mid-tone brown shade. Dusty Mesa is another mid-tone brown. And then we have Moonlit Mirage, which is a blue, a really dark blue-green shadow. It's a shimmer shade. I don't really know how many people would wear this on their eyelid. It's such a dark color, but I'd be curious to see the inspo. And then Sunrise Overlook is a dark blue-green. And Green Oasis is a grungy green metallic as well. So interesting colors. The last three there are a bit daring, but you guys let me know what you think of that. And then the next Sydney Grace palette is, of course, Cozy Cafe. This one is $52. And like I mentioned, it did already sell out on the Sydney Grace website, so you can pre-order this palette. And I really like both the looks I created with these palettes. I don't know that I would necessarily run out and buy either of them with my own money, but I'm always happy to play with Sydney Grace palettes because I know they're so loved. Cozy Cafe is a 15-pan palette that is a beautiful blend of cool browns and soft pinks. This palette allows you to easily take a neutral daytime eye look and turn it into a romantic smoky look for an evening out. This is also available in deep and light for all skin tones, and there's actually way more shadows that are different in this palette. So coconut cream, cinnamon latte, warm croissant, almond milk, a good book, raspberry lemon muffin, vanilla beach dream, and savory scones are all different from the two variations of this palette. And now let's talk a little bit about the shades in the palette so that we can see the swatches. Again, this one is a very cool tone palette, so not my exact style, but I really like the look. So coconut cream is a coppery shimmer shade. Cinnamon latte and warm croissant are both mid-tone browns. Toasted bagel is very similar to coconut cream, but it's more taupey. And then hot cocoa kiss is a even more taupey brown. Almond milk and a good book are both mid-tone pink shades. People watching is a shimmery pink, and then a raspberry lemon muffin is a little bit of a deeper pink, but really not that different from a good book. And then vanilla bean dream is a cool tone brown. Fun Day Delight is more of a silvery shimmer, and then savory scones and soup of the day are more mid-tone grays. And then we have double espresso, which is a gunmetal shimmer, and then black coffee is a dark black and brown kind of shade. So that is Cozy Cafe from Sydney Grace. And then the last palette, oh my goodness, we finally made it to the one on my eyes right now. This is the Alter Ego Amber Glow palette, and this is the most affordable palette in this video. So this one retails for $24. It contains 15 shades, 6 shimmers, and 9 mattes, and this is made in the PRC as well. Sydney Grace, I believe, is all made in the USA. I believe they make all the shadows in California. I'm not really sure about the packaging, but I'm pretty sure the palette is assembled and the shadows are made in the USA. So if that's important to you, I think that's really awesome that you have options of where things are made. And of course, a majority of the brands in this video are from indie women-owned brands, so I love that as well. Always want to mention. Now let's talk a little bit about the shades in the Amber Glow palette. And this is of course a dupe palette, which I know some people like, some people don't like. I totally get it. I just want to show it to you so that you can either decide to go ahead with your purchase or skip it. Save yourself the money either which way. Glint is actually the shade in my inner corner today. It's a champagne shimmer shade, just your typical inner corner shade. And Sundrop is a peachy matte. And we have Rich, which is a sparkly champagne shade. I'm actually wearing that on my lid today. Ombre, I think is the shade. And Sepia are 2 mid-tone brown. We have a shade called Bisque, which is a light cream color. Velvet is a peachy matte. Honey is a golden shimmer shade. Dazzle is a champagne colored shimmer shade, and then Copper is a coppery metallic shade. Ivory is a more bronzy metallic. Suede is a nice mid-tone brown, and then Halo and Blaze are 2 golden shimmer shades, and then Cocoa is the dark brown. It's the darker shade in the palette and the one on my outer corner here. So yeah, that is the last palette in this video. Now let's go ahead and get into the 6 looks. And if you haven't figured it out yet, I think I'll have timestamps in the description box. You can hop around in case you don't want to be stuck watching one palette. It's a little bit weird how I do it. I don't know. I should watch how other people do it. And if you have a preference, let me know. Like, should I just do like look, review, close-up swatches all in one section and then just do each palette at a time so it's more like little videos in one? I feel like breaking it up by intro, swatches and close-ups, all the looks, and then the outro makes more sense to me. Kind of makes the video more cohesive, but honestly, I'm playing catch up right now because I was working on my Odom's Eye video when a lot of these palettes got sent to me, and I was just really short on time. It's very much summer at my house, and if I'm gonna film versus like spend time with my kids, I usually end up picking spending time with my kids over filming, and so sometimes things kind of get put on the back burner. But I really want to make this video happen because I am really excited, and it's kind of sparked an interest in neutral eyeshadow palettes for me. I really don't hate neutral palettes, I just prefer colorful eyeshadow palettes, but I've really been enjoying neutrals again with playing with all of these palettes. So yeah, anyway, let's get into the first look with the Bella Beauté Bar palette. I'm going to start off with the shade Unoriginal Nudes. I'm going to put that in my crease. This is basically my skin tone. And so I'm just using that to blend everything out. Okay, next I'm going to take Unoriginal Nudes. Nude 9? Oh, I just realized that they're all numbered. And I'm just going to put that on the lower half of the lid and the crease. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of Unoriginal Nude 2 and kind of run that on the outer edge of the crease just to lighten things up. Okay, now I want to play with the shimmer. I think I'm going to go into this shade called Mimic. It's a really pretty gold shimmer shade. It's very flaky. I'm going to get it nice and wet. And I'm just going to put that all over my lid. That is looking so cute. You can definitely just stop there. Or if you want it intensified, you can use some of the black eyeshadow. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to line my waterline quick and see if I want to amp this up some more or leave it like this. Okay, so for the inner corner, I'm taking this teeny tiny pencil brush and I'm going to go into Token Shimmer 1. Really loaded up the brush, giving it a nice spray. And we're going to pop that right on the inner corner. I want to put a little bit of that right here too. And I got another pencil brush and I'm going to go into the shade Unoriginal Nude 9. Just going to run that light along the lower lash line into the outer corner. I think I'm going to take a little bit of Unoriginal 10 as well. Just a little bit of a darker brown and just kind of run that on the upper and lower lash line on the outer edge. Instead of using a black shade, I think I'm just going to use that. And then I'm going to take the bigger, fluffier brush and just kind of blend it a little bit more. This look feels very glam and very beautiful. So I'm going to finish up this look, throw on some mascara, some earrings, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here is the finished look. What do you guys think? I just want to let you know what else is on my face today in case you guys are curious. So for foundation, I'm wearing the About Face foundation. Concealer is the NARS concealer. I really love that concealer so much. And then for bronzer, I've been testing out the Benefit Hoola bronzer. It's like a cream to powder bronzer, and I picked it up during the last Sephora sale, so I wanted to test it out more. My blush is Worth from Rare Beauty. This one is so pretty, and they did send it to me, and I've been really enjoying it. And for highlighter, I'm wearing the ColourPop highlighter from the Tangle collection. This is called I See the Light. It's a really pretty peachy highlighter. And my lip combo today is the Glam Light Sauron lipstick from their collab with Lord of the Rings. And I'm wearing the Mented Lip Oil in the shade Iced Tea on top, just because I wanted to add some hydration to my lips. So this is the look. I feel very summery, very glowy goddess vibes. So yeah, let's get into another look with another palette. I'm so excited to play with this palette. I just swatched it and the swatches are gorgeous. I think I'm gonna have to do a green look because this green has been screaming my name, and we have some more like army khaki greens over here, so I think we can pull off something. I'm going to start off with this brush from Angela Brighton Sigma, and I'm going to go into the shade called Maui Mocha. Took me a second there. And I'm going to use that on the outer corner today. How are you guys doing? I'm getting ready to film my new makeup releases episode. It's already quite late here, but it's been a very fun day. We went berry picking, but the place I wanted to go to was 2 hours away, and so it was 4 hours there and back, right? And so was it worth it? I don't know, but we did have fun. So I guess it was worth it. Majority of the time was spent on the road, but it's a fun way to keep your kids occupied, is driving places. So there's that, I guess. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. We got a big bowl of berries out of it. It's like $12 for 3 pounds of berries, but you know, they're like organic and they're like the best tasting berries we've ever had. So there's that. Okay, I'm gonna go into Matcha Mocha right here. That's the shade I've been dreaming about. I'm just gonna flip my brush over and I'm just gonna try and press that green shade in. This palette is so pretty. I feel like indie brands are gonna make me just want to talk more about neutral palettes on my channel. Okay, that's cute. I don't think they're even, but that's not the point. I kind of love the color combo. I think I might take a little bit of this shade called Chai with Mocha. It's like a more poopy green color, and I'm just going to use that between the red and the green just to give it a little bit more of a gradient. That green is so pigmented. Okay, so I lined my waterline. Now I want to go in with this gorgeous shade called Java Mocha. It's a duochrome with green and like burgundy sparkles, and I think it'll be really pretty with this eye look. So I'm just going to take a flat brush and I'm going to pick it up. I picked like a really dense flat brush, so we'll see how this foils on my eyelids. Ooh, that is such a pretty color. This might be a multi-chrome actually. I see like a major green shift to it as well. I probably have a shade like this in my collection, but the fact that it goes so well with the mattes in this palette just like makes me so happy. I'm going to tuck a little bit more of that burgundy shade on the outer corner just to kind of help give it a little blend there. Okay, I'm going to take this pencil brush and I'm going to go into this first shade in the palette. It's called Marble Mocha. It's a really pretty bright shimmer. It's very flaky, so I'm just going to pick up just a little bit, give it a nice spray, and we're of course going to tuck that right into the inner corner. It's a very flaky shadow, and I'm trying not to get the flakes in my eye because usually if one of those big chunks gets in there, I'm going to start like tearing up, and I don't need to deal with that right now. Okay, next I'm going to go into Matcha Mocha. Such a pretty vibrant green. Just really trying to keep that nice and bright on the waterline. Okay, I love how bright that green is. I'm just going to take the same pencil brush and I'm going to go in to that burgundy shade and just run a little bit from the outer corner down into the lower lash line just to tie those two colors together. Just to tie the whole look together, I suppose I should say. Cute. Okay, so the look is done. I just need to throw on some mascara, finish up the rest of my face, and I will be right back to show you guys the finished look. Here is the finished look. What do you guys think? I love it so much. And let me tell you really quick what else is on my face today. So I have on the About Face foundation. This was in my Shop My Stash, and I've been just wanting to wear it more. I really like this shade with my skin tone. This is the shade, ooh, do I know? MD2 Olive. So that is the shade I have on in case we're foundation twins. And what I really like about this foundation, other than it wears really well and looks really good with my skin tone, is the fact that it has this giant doe foot. Makes it really easy to apply. So I kind of love that. There is times where I pull out the applicator really fast and there's a bit of a splash of the foundation, but other than that, I really love it. And then I decided to wear my Tower 28 concealer. Haven't used this in a while, so I did pull it out. I really love this concealer. I'm on a bit of a concealer journey recently, so I did buy a few new ones, and I've been testing those out, but I have loved the Tower 28 concealer for a long time. And then for my bronzer combo today, I have on my Makeup by Mario. This is the, what is this called? The Soft Sculpt Blurring Bronzer. I really like this powder bronzer. I have it in the shade Medium Dark. And then I'm wearing my Rare Beauty bronzer stick. This is in the shade Always Sunny, I think, yeah. Always Sunny, and I'm slowly trying to use this up. So, I mean, I still have a ton, but I really, really like this stick bronzer, and I used it a ton, so I want to keep using it. And then for blush and highlighter, I'm wearing the Unearthly blush. This is the Incandescent Glowing Blush, and I got this in, was this April that we went to Creators and Friends, and mine has hard pan on it, so I need to fix that, but I did throw this on. It's in the shade Mystic, and this is also in my Shop My Stash. And my highlighter today is the Electra highlighter from NARS. I believe these are a Ulta exclusive, and they're so gorgeous. I only have the one shade, but this is a really pretty highlighter. Love it so, so much. And then my lip combo today, I don't even know if Charlotte Tilbury sells these anymore. I should look this up. But this is the Airbrush, and I don't know what shade this is. Honey Bee, Honey Bub, I don't know. Honey Blip, I don't know. Pretty color, and then I had to use a lip oil. I'm like so dry right now, so this is the shade Iced Tea from Mented Cosmetics, and they did send me that one. So I just threw it on for a bit of hydration, but yeah, this is the finished look. I really love my lid shade from Gourmand Girl, so I just wanted to show it off. But okay, I feel like this purchase was a bit of a wild card for me, but I'm so excited to try it out. So this is a 12 pan palette with matte and glittery finishes for apparently long-lasting wear. And I felt like these were almost like so creamy. They almost felt like a cream shadow, but I'm not sure if they are cream shadows. I feel like I saw something saying they were cream shadow, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, I'm going to start off with this shade, and I'm just going to throw it on the crease. I don't think this is going to be a very intricate look because I don't feel like these shades are kind of made for that. Definitely more like a wash of color, which is totally fine with me. This is such a pretty color for my skin tone. A great like one and done eyeshadow that I can just blend all over my lid and my crease. And it's pigmented too, so it's really covering up my eyelids nicely. I have some exciting news. One of our really good friends is having her second baby, and I started filming and I had my foundation going, and she called me and she's like, my water broke, can you come pick up my kid? And I was like, yes. They just moved very close to us, and so I just whipped on over there, picked up their son, and now they're off to have another baby, and it's so exciting. Their first child is a little bit older, so this is gonna be an adventure, I'm sure, like relearning that like newborn phase, but I'm so excited for them. And I was like, we were so happy to help because we remember not too long ago, and I really don't know what people do when they're having a second, third, fourth kid with the kids they already have if you don't have family around. I know some people like bring them to the hospital, which, I mean, it is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do. It's not like you can leave your kids by themselves. But I feel like trying to manage kids you already have with another kid being born in the hospital would be a lot. We got so lucky when we had our second kid. One of my friends had a nanny, and she was also like trying to be a doula and stuff like that. So I didn't really need her for a doula, but she watched our first child for multiple days because I had a C-section. So that was such a relief because my parents hadn't moved here yet. So yeah, that turned out really nice. So I think the best thing you can do is to, of course, plan ahead. That way it takes a little bit of something that can be so stressful away. But yeah, him and my husband are playing board games upstairs, and we ordered a pizza. So yeah, I told him it's gonna be like summer camp. Hopefully he has a good time and gives us rave reviews. So this is like the most gently pigmented eyeshadow palette ever, but I feel like this is what people are really into nowadays. So my no makeup look is in full swing. I'm gonna line my waterline quick and then throw some more shadow on my eyes, and I'm pretty much done with this look. Okay, so I'm gonna take the Sigma pencil brush and I'm gonna go into this darker brown shade that I kind of used on the outer corner. I haven't really been showing you guys the shadows I use, so I use this one in the crease, this one on the outer corner, this one on the lid, and then I might use a little bit more of this first shade in the inner corner as well. We'll see how it goes. If you're expecting like indie level pigment with this palette, I would say manage your expectations. But I can also see like all my friends loving a palette like this because it's just so soft and pigmented and almost like blending so well, and just makes my eyes look really soft and sophisticated. So it's giving like luxury glam vibes, and I'm here for it. Go Lancome, go. I've never tried their eyeshadow before, so I could definitely see myself reaching for something like this over and over again, even though it's so gently pigmented when it comes to the shimmers. It's like, where is the shimmer? But I get what they're trying to do with this palette, and it's definitely not to pack a ton of pigment on to the eyes. So I'm just putting that inner corner shade in here. I don't think spraying these is going to make a difference, but yeah, this is pretty much the look. I'm actually testing out the new Natasha Denona liquid bronzer. So far, I love that, but I'm going to go ahead and probably just put my hair in a ponytail, put on some mascara, find some earrings, and I'll be right back to show you guys the finished look. Okay, friends, this is as close as I'm ever going to get to a no makeup look, and I'm kind of here for it. I just want to pack up all of these products and put them in my Shop My Stash for July. Not gonna lie. So let me tell you what is on my face really quick in case you guys are nosy. So let's start off with this. I'm so excited. I just used it for the first time and I think it's lovely. This is the new Natasha Denona High Sculpt liquid bronzer in the shade Toasty, and I'm living for it. So I just tried that out, and then for foundation, I pulled this one out. I haven't used it in a while. It's the One Size foundation, the Turn Up the Base, and this is in the shade 50G. Tower 28 concealer. Haven't used that in a while, so I did bring that back. And then I did use the Hourglass powder bronzer just on top, and I'm wearing the Natasha Denona High Blush in the shade, I don't know which one this is actually. I just bought one of the shades. It's kind of like the berry one. I didn't really like the colors of that range. I just bought one just to buy one. And of course I had to wear the High Gen Skincare Infused Glow Beautifier. This is the shade medium and I hadn't worn it in a while, so I did grab that, but I think everything looks so lovely together. And my lip product today is this one from Charlotte Tilbury, which I wore in my Look with the Gourmand Girls palette, but I just was wanting to kind of rush through this because Like I said, my friend is in labor and her son is here and I'm too excited, but I'm on a mission to get these looks cranked out for this video, so I had to do it. Can't tell you guys the last time I sat down with a Sydney Grace palette, but they sent me Desert Bloom as well as their Cafe palette that's launching for their July sale. So I figured, why not? We're doing neutral palettes and I've got neutral palettes coming out of my ears, so I thought I'd include it in this video. The look is not going to be complicated by any means, but why not? So I'm going to start off with Sunset Petals, which is this really pretty mid-tone orangey terracotta color, and I'm just going to put that in the crease. And oh my gosh, every time I get a package from Sydney Grace, it takes me back to the days of reviewing a lot more of their stuff. I have so many Sydney Grace single shadows and things, and I just haven't really reached for them that much because I've just gotten into so many other indie brands. But they still make some of the best neutral palettes out there. So if you're on a neutral journey, if you want to support a women-owned indie business, they have some really pretty neutral palettes, and their matte formula and their shimmer formula honestly is like everything. So I just like to put shades like this all over the crease, and you could even just do that and call it like a one and done eyeshadow look. Yesterday, or not yesterday, but one day this weekend for 4th of July, I did my makeup again with the Lancome palette, and I really loved how I looked. So I have definitely been embracing the minimal makeup look. I really enjoy it. Okay, I'm going to use Midnight Dunes on the outer corner, and I'm just doing like the classic look that I like to do with palettes like this. Just a little bit of a dark shadow on the outer corner, a beautiful shimmer on the lid, and we're good to go. Also, I'm so excited because I had watched season 1 of The Buccaneers on iTunes or like Apple TV, and season 2 is currently airing, and I'm so excited. It's such a good show. It's like Bridgerton. And it's cute. It's like, you know, not super serious, but it's like a little bit romance, a little bit like badass women, which honestly I don't really know if people were allowed to act like that in old-timey England, but I can pretend. I can definitely get into the power of women, and I'm really enjoying it. There's so many little adventures in that show, so if you're looking for a good recommendation, The Buccaneers on Apple TV, and I'm so excited for The Summer I Turned Pretty to come out as well. I think I've talked about that show on here already, but that's coming out July 1st, and they're doing an episode at a time for like 2 months, so I don't know if I'm just gonna wait and watch everything at once or if I'm gonna watch it every week, but I just dove into the shade called Desert Bloom, which is a really pretty bright orange shadow, and I'm just gonna put that on all over my lid. I wanted to see how it would go on with a dry brush. I know Sydney Grace eyeshadows perform really well when you foil them, so I was curious. So I'm not feeling it without wetting it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and wet my brush. So far, this is look 4. I think this palette video is gonna have 6 looks because I have one more Sydney Grace neutral palette and another palette, the Alter Ego palette. So hopefully this is helpful to you guys. I almost bought the Tarte Maneater 2 palette, and I decided not to get it because I don't really need another neutral palette right now, but it looked really pretty. So if you guys got that one, you'll have to let me know. I'm just gonna use my finger because I feel like, yeah, there we go. It's a very pretty shade, and the brush was just not doing it justice. You know what I'm saying? Okay, usually I don't like to fiddle that much with my eyeshadow, but I felt like I needed to. I'm going to line the waterline quick, finish up the lower lash line, and I'll just be right back to show you guys the finished look. There's no reason to drag out every single video, every single look with super details. So I'll be right back. Okay friends, so here is the finished look with the Desert Bloom palette from Sydney Grace. Let me go ahead and tell you really quick what else is on my face today. So I decided to shop my stash, of course, and I'm wearing the Urban Decay foundation. I have it in the shade 24, which I like to think is my summer shade. I've been getting a lot of sun lately, so I did use that today. And then for concealer, I'm wearing the Tear concealer. I bought it in the shade 7W to see if this is any darker, because first I think I got 6 and it's not that dark, but maybe I could go even darker, but I'm not going to buy any more shades. So that's the shade I have on today. And then for bronzer, I'm wearing the Rare Beauty bronzer stick. For blush, I'm wearing the Pixie. This is the On The Go blush in the shade. This is called Juicy. It's so pretty. I went pretty minimal with the blush. I don't know why, I just felt like it. And then highlighter is the Prada highlighter. And I'm wearing the Fui lip gloss. This is in the shade, ooh, I always forget the name of the shade and it's so tiny. But it's like this pretty terracotta shade, and I have it in the 70% formula. I've seen so many influencers talking about Fui and these glosses, and I think they're doing like a lot of sponsorship. So I definitely have one and I love it, and I would definitely pick it up in more shades if I wasn't trying to actively avoid buying lip products. I just bought one to try out because I got influenced. But so that's everything on my face today, and I will get into another look. Okay, we're playing with Cafe Cozy today. This is definitely another cool tone neutral palette, so I figured I would get to it to include it in this video. I don't know if you guys remember, but I think last month, maybe it was May, I had my bottom 2 wisdom teeth taken out, and I had been chewing on my left side to just avoid like pain. And yesterday I was just driving home after I stopped at McDonald's, and I was like, let me try chewing on my right side, see if my wisdom tooth extraction had helped being able to chew. And now I'm in pain again. I did pop some ibuprofen before I started filming, so I'm thinking that's going to carry me through, but I might not talk as much in this video because I want to film new makeup releases. And this is look number, I don't know which order I'm going to post these in, but I'm going to do 6 looks with 6 neutral palettes. And so I have 1 more left, and I've been just so slow at getting this done because it's been the holiday weekend and just a lot of running around, and it's been so hot here. So when I spend the whole afternoon outside, the last thing I want to do is come on camera and put on makeup after being like super sweaty. But yesterday we were kind of inside a lot of the time, and I was able to wash my hair. So my hair is clean after being in the lake and the pool and stuff over the holiday weekend. So I started off with a good book. I was gonna maybe try and use the neutral shades and like the grays, but honestly I really don't want to. That is just not what I'm in the mood for. So I'm just going with this like row of pinky coral shades, and now I'm gonna put in a little bit of raspberry lemon muffin, a little bit on the lower half of the crease, just to kind of deepen it up a little bit more. All of these looks are just very, very simple, but mostly I'm just trying to give you guys an opinion on how the shadows feel, how they blend, and stuff like that. And I'm just doing my signature look. So I'm going to go in with People Watching, which is this really pretty peachy color. I'm going to use the Singe E01 for that. It's a really nice synthetic brush, and I feel like it picked up a lot of the product. Gonna give it a little spray. Try my finger. I feel like with my finger the shade pops a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to take a pencil brush and I'm going to go into the shade called Coconut Cream. And that's going to be my inner corner shade. I'm going to take that same brush and go into Raspberry Lemon Muffin. And I'm just going to run that on the lower lash line. Cute! Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of Vanilla Bean Dream, which is this kind of cool tone, dark brown, almost like a gray shade. And I'm just going to use a little bit of that on the outer edge and bring it a little bit on the lower lash line as well. And I'm going to take that little blending brush I was using and actually pick up maybe a little bit more and just kind of blend that into the outer corner. Take a little bit more of raspberry, lemon, whatever, and just kind of go over the entire thing. And I forgot, I'm going to take a little bit of that shade that I put in my inner corner, and I'm just going to tuck it right here in the brow bone, just to give it a little bit of a extra highlighty effect. So yeah, that's the look. Super simple, but very, very cute. Hi friends, so here is the finished look. What do you guys think? I really like the look. It's very peachy and it's neutral, but I think it's just like a great everyday vibe. So let me tell you really quick what is on my face today. So for foundation and concealer, I used a bit of an odd combo. I'm wearing the Glossier foundation. I think this is the shade 51. Am I so blind? I am so blind. Medium tan. I don't know. I'll try and link it for you guys. This Fenty concealer, I kind of forgot I had it. Yeah, it's not my favorite, but it looks fine under the eyes, so I'll give it that. And then, of course, for bronzer today, I have to use my Natasha Denona liquid bronzer. I've been loving this, and I have it in the shade Toasty, in case you guys didn't know. And I paired it with the Dior bronzer. This is shade 40. So beautiful, so luxurious. Love that bronzer combo, especially for the summertime. And then for my blush and highlighter, I'm wearing this ColourPop liquid blush in the shade City Walk. This is a really pretty, kind of shimmery, beautiful liquid blush, and it's so affordable. And then for highlighter, I used the shade Drip from the Masterclass palette with Jordan Liberty. And for my lip combo, I was actually wearing this lip liner from the brand Makeup Forever. This is the shade, I think I have Limitless Brown, and I paired it with this lip plumper from Polite Society. I saw the sun, the moon, and all the constellations, so I had to take this off. I did film it as a short, so I'll have that up on YouTube at some point, but this was awful. 100% do not recommend unless you really want to feel your lips burn. That's probably the worst lip plumper I've ever tried. I don't know how they get these things approved. So I swapped out for a Blend Bunny lip oil. This is also from Masterclass collection, and it's the shade Cheap Thrills. It has a really pretty sparkle, and I had to put something on that was easy after burning my lips off. So I'm definitely planning on going upstairs and seeing if my husband will take the challenge of putting this on his lips, because I was really shocked. So anyway, that is everything that I used on my face today. Okay, I feel like this palette is going to perform better than its swatch, so let's see. I'm going to start off with the shade Cocoa, and that's going to go, of course, in the outer corner. The Alter Ego formula is usually pretty creamy and pigmented, so I feel like I can usually do a pretty decent look with it. I all of a sudden have a cold, so mind the foundation and stuff. It's rough in these streets. Don't look too close. Oh, that builds up so beautifully. I could sit here all day and do that. I'm just going to take the same brush and I'm going to go into the shade called Suede. Okay, so far I really like how that's looking. I'll probably go in a little bit more with that dark brown shade, but first I want to go in with a lid color, and I think I'll pick Rich. It looks very sparkly and champagne-y. And of course I want to give it a nice spray. Ooh, that's pigmented and pretty. And then maybe I'll take a little bit of the shade called Copper and just put a little bit on the outer part of the lid. This is such a great palette if you're on the hunt for affordable eyeshadow. I feel like I don't even know a lot of dupe brands anymore, so I'm glad that at least Alter Ego is still around so that people can get affordable versions of more luxurious palettes. I'm going to take this cutie little fluffy blending brush from Fantasy Cosmetic, and I'm going to go into the shade called Sepia, and I'm just going to run that on the lower lash line and bring it up into the outer corner. And then I'm going to take Cocoa again and just run that on the outer edge, bring it to the lower lash line. Just really blend it out. Okay, and then we just need an inner corner shade. So I think I'm going to use the shade Glint, which is this champagne shimmer shade. I'm going to take this teeny tiny pencil brush from the Angela Bright and Sigma collection. Give that a nice spray. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. I just know this is going to look so cute once I throw on some mascara. So I'll finish up this look and I'll be right back to show it to you. Okay friends, so here is the finished look with the Alter Ego palette. What do you guys think? I just want to tell you really quick what is on my face before I break down all of my final thoughts on the 6 palettes. So I put everything in here. I know I'm so professional, but I did need a more hydrating foundation today. I just all of a sudden got a runny nose. I'm so annoyed because this whole part of my face feels so dry, so I didn't really feel like putting a ton of makeup on. So that's my excuse, but I did use the Hourglass Skin Tint. This is the Hydrating Skin Tint Veil. I do really like this foundation. Everything is a little too light for me at this current moment because I've been getting so much sun, so if you look really close, you can kind of tell, but it is what it is. And then I just use my Tear concealer. I use my Natasha Denona liquid bronzer in the shade Toasty. Thank goodness for this thing because it's been saving me because I can like at least like disguise how light my foundation is by using this on the perimeters of my face so I can blend the foundation in. And then I decided to go drugstore with my powder bronzer. This is just the Physicians Formula bronzer. And then I decided to use a blush that I haven't used in 100 years. I think I almost decluttered these and then I bought them back, and honestly they're nice, but I can hardly see the shade on me. So this is the shade Beverly Hills from Merit. And I can't remember if I bought these or I got them in PR, but you guys know everybody and their mom talks about these little blushes, but I think they reformulated these. So I think they're in gold packaging now, and I'm not going to buy the new version, but I have those. And then I had to wear my Armani liquid highlighter. I haven't worn this in forever. It's such a pretty, just subtle but really impactful highlighter, so I'm wearing that. And then since I'm just feeling dry as dry can be, I just threw on my Fui lip gloss. I think this is, I don't know, I really like it though. So that is everything that's on my face today. Now let's go ahead and talk about all 6 palettes, what my thoughts are on each of them, which ones I recommend, which ones I would say to stay far away from. Okay, I don't know if I've ever done 6 looks with 6 palettes before, and I almost did 8 looks with 8 palettes because I was thinking I could add my Urban Decay palette. I bought the original Naked palette when Urban Decay re-released it, but of course I never did anything with it. So I thought that one, and then I thought I could include Glaminatrix Tones of Turd when it got here. Mine is, of course, is always taking the scenic route. I did see a few other YouTubers have received it already, but it's okay. I'll just do another one because clearly I have enough neutral palettes to make it work. But yeah, I'm really grateful that you guys voted on Instagram when I posted the poll that just stick with the 6 or you don't care. So thank you for that, first and foremost. Second of all, oh my gosh, I can't believe I wore all these neutral palettes. And let me think, what are my thoughts? I really thought the Bella Beauté Bar one was just not my color story, but these are great eyeshadows. They have such a good formula. You guys know how much I love the Ocean Jewel palette they just came out with. I'm just not a big neutral girl, and when it comes to neutrals, I prefer more warm neutrals. So that's why this is my not so favorite palette, but we've got this beautiful hollow shade in here, and yeah, just really pretty metallics. I just wish there was one like burnt orange shade, but they do have another neutral palette that they did. Oh my gosh, it was like the ice cream one. Can't remember what that one was called, but that one has more of the warm tones in it if you really want a Bella Beauté bar warm tone palette. But I love the concept of this. And then the next palette is, I think, my favorite one. Like, if I had to recommend one from all of these, I would pick this one because this is the most me. I love the inclusion of that shade, the matcha shade. It's just such a fun touch. And I think this palette was more colorful than I thought. So do with that information what you will, but I feel like somebody could really argue that this was a colorful look in a sea of neutral palettes. When the final look was done, I was like, okay, I kind of dig it. So there's that. A lot of these palettes are under $60, so that's something to keep in mind. The Bella Beauté one is $69, so it's almost $70, making it the most expensive palette, but I think it also has the most amount of shades, so that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, it's always, I guess, preference when it comes to this, and I would be very curious to know if any of you own all of these palettes, some of these palettes, if you're eyeing any of them. I'm so nosy. This Lancome palette I totally bought because I was like, I'm gonna make a review and it's gonna be awesome and super helpful to everyone. So I feel like I definitely missed the boat on that because, again, I just dropped the ball, didn't get to this fast enough. But I've actually used this palette twice, which is pretty shocking to me, but it's a great palette for when you want to disguise yourself as an adult. I think I put this on even on the 4th of July because I was going to like a waffle party with fancy people and I didn't want to look too, like, I was wearing like all red, so I didn't want to wear like a really colorful eye look as well. I wanted something more neutral, and this was perfect. I remember when I played with this palette, I was not blown away by the eye look, but I thought I looked really pretty. Like, I really liked the look I was able to create with this, so I could see this being like an essential palette for me as my preferences kind of change for makeup, or if I'm just wanting to look more, I don't want to say serious because I think you can look serious with colorful eyeshadow as well, but I think that sometimes I just want my outfit to do the talking, or something that I don't want to distract from what I'm wearing, then I would do a look like this, and I really like this for that. Next are the two Cindy Grace palettes. Listen, the one's already sold out. This one's probably sold out too, so I just know that there are super fans of Cindy Grace out there, and they're one of those brands that doesn't launch a ton of stuff every year, so I'm guessing that the people that are super loyal to Cindy Grace wait every year to buy whatever they come out with at this time. And I love that they do a little sale. They do a little, I don't know, sometimes they include these palettes as like bonuses if you make like a certain amount of money purchase on their website. So they do fun things with their palettes, and I was just really impressed that they are still rocking their Christmas in July sale, and people are clearly still into their stuff. I really enjoy their formula and have for a really long time. I'm so happy they did palettes. For the longest time they did a lot of single eyeshadows, but now they do palettes, so it's fun because I still get to play with them. I would be the first one to tell you that I haven't reached for my Cindy Grace eyeshadows, my single shadows, in a long time, so it is what it is, but it's fun to see them keeping up with, I feel like, people wanting eyeshadow palettes, so that's fun. And yeah, overall those are really fun palettes. We got a warm one and a cool one, so depending on your preference you can go either way. Last palette is the Amber Glow palette. I really thought this was pretty. I will say the sparkle on this eye for some reason has lessened. This one still looks quite sparkly, so I don't know what that's about because it's the same freaking eyeshadow. Do with that information what you will. Personally, I think this is a cute palette. Again, it is so much cheaper than all the other palettes in this video. It's $24, so I think it's a nice palette, honestly. I don't want to like price shame it by any means, but like for 24 bucks, this is pretty banging. Like the mattes really blended nicely. I just want you guys to know I don't have oily eyelids. I'm 36 years old and I use the Sigma eyeshadow primer, so it's a really dry base. I can't give you guys reviews for oily eyelids because I don't have oily eyelids. I don't have really any wrinkles on my eyelids yet, so I'm sure those are things that are coming up in the future, but for now that's my review. And yeah, I would say the Gourmand Girls palette for me is a standout. Everything else is kind of like, okay, they're fine, like they're fine, they're great. I'm sure you'd be happy with whichever one you picked, but if I had to pick one palette from all of these palettes, I would pick the Gourmand Girls one. So that is my review. I hope you guys enjoyed these 6 neutral looks with these 6 eyeshadow palettes. I need to know which look was your favorite. Just comment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Please let me know which one was your favorite because I'm nosy and I want to know. And I will see you guys in another video very soon. If you have some time, I did rank my eyeshadow palettes in the month of June. So please go ahead and check out my eyeshadow palette ranking video. And that's it, you guys. Bye for now.